converted to Christianity, and well, even after him, there was an attempt to reintroduce some of the old pagan practices, but was not successful. After that, the mysteries as formal activities that people knew about ended. And it's usually supposed that they disappeared altogether. But in fact, there is some reason to think that in parts of Eastern Europe and in parts of northern Spain and southern France, they may have been carried on, right? And there may be then the Albigensians, for example, and the Bougainvilles, that the old mystery practices may have not in quite the formal, structured way they were. Obviously, the mysteries of Eleusis were lost because nothing happened to Eleusis anymore. But the others may have survived and may, in fact, have come along and contributed eventually to the formation of modern Freemasonry. That really gets us into, in a sense, that gets us into the Knights Templar theory, because they have been linked with those surviving groups as well. The problem here is that there is not strong historical evidence. There's not documentary evidence for it. It's all implicational. But it may be, yeah.
Yeah, Masonry among the Muslims?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Masonry is, we tend to think of it as Christian because we are, as a whole, basically a Christian nation. Our culture is Christian. But Masonry is not by any means exclusively Christian. That's something I didn't mention, but one of the landmarks of Masonry is that you must believe in a supreme intelligence in the universe. That's what we call God, right? It doesn't mean you have to have any particular concept of what God is like. Right? You don't have to think of him as a man with a long white beard on a throne. Right? You don't have to think of him as a Trinity. Right? But if you're a Mason, who observes the landmarks of Masonry, you must believe that in the universe there is a guiding intelligence which orders things. Right? It could be. I mean, Masonry doesn't say. Masonry is not a set of doctrines, right? Masonry has no information, has no teachings as such. Masonry, there's an old question, what is Freemasonry? Any of you who are Masons will know this. It's part of the catechism of the first degree. And it's been published many times, and I was never sworn to secrecy about it. So the answer to the question, what is Freemasonry, is it is a peculiar system of morality, veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols. A peculiar system of morality, veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols. Now, you have to understand, Masonic language is inherently archaic. Okay? It's basically 18th century language. So words don't always mean what you think they mean. Peculiar doesn't mean funny, strange, odd. Right? Peculiar means particular, special. Right? So it's a special or particular system of morality. And morality doesn't mean just thou shalt and thou shalt not. Morality here comes from the Latin word mos, which means way of acting, way of behaving, custom. So it's a particular way of living. Right? That's what that definition actually means. Veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols. Masonry is basically symbolic. So it doesn't get into the questions of what that divine intelligence is like. And any Mason is free to think of it in any way he or she likes, right? As long as you say, yep, it's there, right? Somewhere, somehow. Masonry is undogmatic in that respect. Now, did I lose your question altogether in my answer, which sometimes happens? Beg pardon? Okay. Oh, Muslims. Yeah. So there, of course, there are There are Muslims who are Masons. There are lots of Hindus who are Masons. There are Buddhists who are Masons. Because Buddhists don't believe in a personal God at all. They don't believe in a theistic God at all. But they believe that the universe is pervaded by something they call the Buddha nature. And the Buddha nature is conscious and wise. And it's in everything. So it's kind of pantheistic in that sense. And that's fine.